What is up, everybody? It is Rob back with Malta 5 on another edition of Wasting Wildcards. This week we're doing something a little different. I'm doing some best of 3. As I'm recording, the grand finals of the Pro Tour, or the Mythic Championship, are about to begin. And I was inspired by Luis Vargas's kind of Izzet Phoenix deck that he played. That's basically stock from last season. And I was like, let's run it back. Let's see how it's doing. Does it? I mean, he made it to the, quarterfinals, semifinals with it. So it's got to be pretty good still. So let's see how it does in a traditional constructed event, league, whatever they're called in Arena. This is a tempting keep. I go second, so I get an additional draw, 2 radical ideas, so I can essentially draw 4 extra cards and start pitching extra lands. It's going to be easy for me to just dirtle and do nothing, but let's see what happens. So I think LSV picked the Phoenix deck for this Mythic Championship because it is great against mono blue. I mean, a deck that is completely chock full of shocks and beacon bolts and other flyers is just going to match itself up really well against that deck. It also seems pretty good against mono white. It can just fly over there. It's good at blocking in the early rounds, and eventually once you get a critical mass of spells, you're going to be able to start going off pretty hard. Some of the bad matchups, it looks like, were Sultai seemed kind of iffy. He lost to Esper Control, which seems like a very rough matchup. Let's see, let's get this Arclight in. So this is actually a deck I built very early on in Magic Arena. It was the first deck that I ground out the full stock list. I had all 4 Arclights, I got all the lands. So this deck is making a comeback. That's pretty sweet. I don't have to really craft anything. The only cards I think I'm missing from Luis's deck were 1 Entrancing Melody in the sideboard, but I think I'm going to be just fine without that. So let's see. Let's got 1 Arclight. Let's throw the Radical Ideas out, because potentially we could draw into another Phoenix. Let's see. So if we can find another Phoenix, I can then Shard of Course, pitch that Phoenix, and then attack for 8. Let's keep that on top. Shard of Course. Let's go to the island. Guess we'll get in for 5. So, Crab Carnarium would definitely be the worst. He has Vraska's Contentment. Yep. But I don't know. I don't know how we do against Dimir. I assume similarly to Esper. Okay, it's Sultai. Esper, a spicier Sultai, if you will. So let's go. We can kill this, no problem. We got the 2 removals. Let's go. Mountain. Coil. Because he doesn't surveil much. Alright. Take all the damage you want. It's fine with me. So this seems, from the few cards I have seen, it seems like it's a very surveil-heavy deck, which is fine. Cards like this aren't going to do much against us. Shock is a pretty good card. Lava Coil next turn would be nice once he plays that. That's fine, I'll take this. We'll save those Radical Ideas for when we have a reason to start discarding some cards. Hostage Taker. Alright, so they're going to be able to take and cast Electromancer, which is a bummer. I can kill Taker next turn, but let's get a cheap draw out of this real quick. bummer. It's a lot easier to go off and get your Phoenixes back when pretty much all of your spells cost 1 mana. That's pay 2. Let's draw a card, get a threat on the field. I was gonna say if they didn't have a solution, we would have had lethal next turn. Again, I haven't played this deck in a while, so you're gonna have to correct me for all the suboptimal plays I start making. Alright, let's draw one. Let's shock. So I'm running 2 maximize velocities in the sideboard against like removal light decks because it's kind of a lot easier to go all in when they're not chock full of what the fuck. Okay. Do we just win now? Alrighty then. A Muldrotha deck, huh? Alright, I think we're probably gonna be... They were gonna be a-okay. Alright, so they were not a threat light deck. But their shit was big, so instead of having to use 2 cards on like a Doom Whisperer, maybe bring in a Beacon Bolt. It's creature heavy. So they had like... I guess Shivan Fire, kill some stuff. Disdainful Stroke is good against some of the stuff we saw. Let's bring 1 velocity in. They didn't seem like they had too much removal, and if we can just pop out of nowhere and get a win, that'll be fine. So it's always hard figuring out what to take out of this deck. Ral is good if we're in like a grind fest, but this deck, I feel like we can get faster, you know, than they are. Entrancing Melody is not great. All their stuff is going to be pretty expensive to steal. Let's take Ral out. So go 1 Shivan Fire and 1 Maximize Velocity. Is Disdainful Stroke really that good, or are we just going to try to beat them before? Let's get rid of that. Let's just try to beat them quick. Maybe get rid of 1 shock because we got the Shivan Fire. Let's run it back. Let's see how we do. This is one deck that I have found kind of tricky to sideboard. It's hard to figure out what cards to take out because the more cheap spells you take out, the harder it is to get your Phoenixes online. But say against certain control decks, you want a lot of your more expensive cards just because it's going to be so grindy. This is another... I think we keep this. We got card draw, we get Chart of Course, Radical Idea. I drink my latte or a macchiato or whatever it is. Alright, so Muldrotha deck, huh? Not even sure what these decks do, but I assume getting stuff in their graveyard is not necessarily a bad thing for them. Okay, so let's start by charting a course. Let's see, we still got lands. Let's pitch the maximized velocity because that we're only going to need once anyway, so it's not doing much in our hand. And now we have 4 lands, so we can play our Crackling Drakes on 4. Thought Eraser, it's fine. There's not too much in our hand that we are going to be upset about losing. Half of the stuff we can cast. Crackling Drake, we got to back up. Alright, so we've got a slow start, but they also seem to have a pretty slow start, which is good for us, because our deck basically wants to build up for 1 or 2 very aggressive turns. So let's start. Let's draw a card. Let's see. I guess there's an argument to take 2 for Steam Vents, hold up Shock, but I feel like at this point in the game they're going to start casting stuff that's a little out of range. drops now. Sulfur Falls. Doesn't matter. Probably gonna take our Drake here. Okay, so any creature, any threat is going to be very good right now. So let's see if we can find our way into something good here. We need creatures. Alright, so that'll be good next turn. Let's play this tapped, and let's hope they don't have Thought Erasure number 3. So what are we at? We're at a 5-4. Maximize Velocity is not lethal yet. Alright. So they are playing kind of a surveil heavy deck, so there is a good chance we're going to just run into a counter spell. Some Sinister Sabotage action. So let's go, let's draw a card. Okay. I mean, that's not great for us, but there's definitely better targets for that. So I believe they can get Muldrotha out this turn, which would give them, or give me 1 turn. Discovery. Okay, maybe they're still digging for something. We just gotta run it out. Okay, no counter. They're probably gonna kill it, but at least we can draw a card. That's fine. Alright, I'm gonna keep some of these lands in my hand just in case we get any more jumpstart cards and we need something to pitch. Alright, so that's 3 out of our 4 Drakes, correct? That's a bummer. Alright, let's see if this one will live. Alright, so... Man, we gotta get some Phoenix action going on. We're gonna... Alright, let's hope they're out of removal. That would be the most ideal. But I don't think that's probably gonna be the case. For most decks in these colors, it's very easy to just sideboard into a lot of removal, because with a deck that has approximately 8 threats, if you can take them out, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So they've used 2 Vraska's Contempts, I believe. No, okay. So this is actually not bad for us. We can Shivan Fire or Beacon Bolt. So we want to get rid of this. Oh, we can actually, so we can, it's not ideal, but we can play a Shock and Shivan Fire to kill the Crassus. We can Beacon Bolt the Muldrotha. It's a little all in, but, you know. Let's party. Still no Phoenixes. Still no Phoenixes. So next turn, even if they kill Crackling Drake, we can chart a course, hopefully hit a Phoenix, we can Discovery Dispersal, hopefully get some Phoenixes. They got 4 cards in hand. A whole slew of stuff they could hit us with. But if they're still digging, that is definitely a good sign for us. Alright, a 3/1 lifelinker that does not have flying does not concern me. That's a bummer. Although this time they cannot cast it, which is good. So we can Beacon Bolt the Hostage Taker, get our Drake back, draw a card, maximize velocity, chart a course, and discovery. So I think unless they have the exact... Okay, I think we have lethal now. So we Beacon Bolts here, discard shock. We get Crackling Drake back, draw a card. Play maximize velocity, discard the mountain, 12. Oh, we're gonna be 1 damage short. I don't think so. Tight. Alright, so I'm getting the hang of this deck still. As you can see, I'm not exactly the most optimal of players. That also wasn't necessarily the realest deck, but I mean, we did good. We did good. We're up 1. Let's run it back. Let's see how we do. Hopefully we get paired up against some more tier decks, or at least some more exciting spicy brews. As you know, here on Multi-5, we enjoy the spicy janky brews, but you know, they gotta be... Whoop. All right, well, I got a little excited and kept this. Let's see what I kept. I mean, this is actually a pretty good keep, so... We got turn 1 shock, we need to kill a Llanowar elf or something. Turn 2 chart a course. All right. Ooh, an Electromancer. That is going out. So hopefully this is just mono green, because mono green is, with the exception of like crawl harpooners and stuff, is probably a very good match for us. It is not mono green. Okay. Could be Simic or something. So let's chart a course. Discard a Phoenix. Sulfur Falls. Let's discover Dispersal because we can find a shock. We didn't. Guess we want to keep this land. That way next turn we can Crackling Drake if we don't go off with spells. Okay. So I think the smartest thing here is to go Radical Idea. Radical Idea. Discarding Phoenix. Island. Discovery Dispersal. I don't need this. Sure. So I'm actually pretty excited for eventually when we get the Standard Plus or Arena Modern format to come out, because I think the Phoenix archetype is going to be very strong. We already see it being a Tier 1 deck in Modern, so whatever the Arena equivalent of Modern is probably going to be pretty good. So as somebody who is free to play and just trying to get some powerful stuff cheap, this is probably a good deck, or just a good archetype to kind of have all the cards for. I mean, Niv Mizzet might be not so great, Ral Zarek, stuff like that, but, you know, getting these Phoenixes for 4 Mythic Rares, it's basically the whole deck. I mean, you have to grind 4 Mythic Rares, and you don't even need Ral. This is a good card, but I mean, it's just the lands and that. Alright, so I don't really know what they're doing. They could be Sultai, or they could be Merfolk. Let's take on a Beacon Bolt because they're clearly a creature deck. Shivan Fire. Let's get 1 Cannonade just in case they got a bunch of Merfolks. Again, I'm so bad at taking stuff out of my deck. So it seems like if it's Sultai, Ral is good. If it's Merfolk, it's too slow. So let's get rid of that. Trancing Melody is the best against decks that play like Terramander or tokens, so maybe cut one of those. And here's a radical idea. Let's try this. Radical idea is key in the Phoenix decks because you need it to discard Phoenixes, but again, you're only essentially drawing a card for 2 mana, so it's not the best card in your deck. Alright, 2 Charter Courses and an Arclight Phoenix. This is pretty good. We don't have the turn 1 shock, but we could draw into that one to remove that, like we just did. So I'm going to pay 2 life here just to hold up shock in case they play an early Merfolk Lord or something we just want to get off the battlefield. Okay, so it is Sultai. Good to know. So let's Silver Falls, Chart a Course. This, alright, so they Jade Light Ranger here. That thing's gonna get pretty big. Okay. Okay. So we can't triple spell. But I guess we just Chart a Course. Phoenix. I guess we just shock the elf to keep them from getting too much mana advantage. And then next turn we can Electromancer into 2 spells. So this is potentially just somebody who has the worst luck with Sultai. So I think here we take out Wild Growth Walker. Pass the turn. We'll save Radical Idea for next turn. We can potentially triple spell and get our Phoenixes back. Not too worried about a 2/2 or a 1/3. Clearly don't have an Explore creature, so... Okay, so let's start by going Radical Idea into Shock, into Radical Idea. Play this for next turn, and we're good. Ooh, spicy. That is literally the best card against our deck. Basically, getting rid of these permanently. But I can also kill that. Alright, so Drake. That's a bummer. Ooh, rough. Alright, so I thought our opponent was kind of fizzling, but now we are getting beat up by Llanowar Elf. Alright, Opt is pretty good here. I can kill the elf, but we really need something to... Oh, punished. Alright, let's keep these in my hand. I don't need them. So I could have taken the shock there, but that means next turn I would have drawn a land anyway, so we are taking 1 more point of damage, but we're getting flooded out. Okay, so 2 of our Phoenixes are gone. Our 1 shock is on the bottom of the deck. 2 Charter Course. So we have 2 more Charter Courses in our deck. So we basically have one turn to have the most lucky, insane draw of all time. And I think that's not going to happen. Alright, so we definitely had a small window there where things were looking up. Alright, so we are clearly playing against Sultai midrange. It seems like the Sultai midrange of choice for people. So let's see, now that I kind of know what's going on, Ral is good here, because it is a grind fest. Shivan Fire is good, because we can get rid of their wild growth walkers. Niv isn't good here? No, because they got a bunch of creatures. Creature-based removal is not great. Cannonade doesn't kill much of their stuff, so let's get that out of here. Cry of the Carnarium's annoying, so maybe we want some negates, just a little bit of protection for our creatures. Shock is okay, but it can't kill most of their stuff, so maybe we go down a shock. 2 shocks. We got Lava Coils and Shivan Fire for their bigger stuff, and Beacon Bolts. And you want opt. Maybe a Tormenting Voice? Alright. So we're on the play now. Let's hope we get something a little quicker. So we don't have any card draw, which is annoying, but we have double Electromancer, Beacon Bolt, and Crackling Drake, so the spells we do draw are going to be cheaper. Alright. That is not a card draw spell, but if we draw one, we have something to discard to it. Alright, well we have one mana negate here, which is pretty nice. Okay, so I think I'm just going to double Radical Idea here. Because my goal is to play Crackling Drake with Negate as backup. Or basically just have some kind of protection from the Cry of the Carnarium blowout, which is real, as you saw. It is very real. So we can see maybe like a Verascus Contempt or something here. Nope. Alright. So now we Crackling Drake. We have Negate backup protection. Steam Vents. Alright, so we got a little bit of a dirtily hand here, but having this negate does feel pretty good. Okay. Transport makes me think they don't have a cry. Let's run this out. I'm playing it on tap because I don't ever want to not have my negate up. So, bin that. Let's bin both of these, get the Drakes bigger, and they're still accessible, so it's not a huge problem. Alright, feeling pretty good about this. Next turn, we can make these potentially lethal, and unless they have some kind of creature-based removal here, there's not much they can do. At 18, there's no reason I need to block. And that is why I wanted to keep my blue mana up. Alright, so I mean, we won that against Sultai midrange. I don't think our opponents were playing the most optimal build of Sultai midrange or necessarily playing it in the most optimal of ways. But I'm also playing Phoenix in a very suboptimal way, so who am I to judge, really? A coffee break. I'm not sure. My wife made it. It's tasty. So I go first with a 1-lander. That's gonna have to be a hard pass. If this is a 2-lander minus a shock, that'd be pretty good. Okay. 3 lands, some draw. Let's get this. That. I'm gonna pay 2 here just so once I see what my opponent is playing, I can opt, hopefully, kind of smooth out my draw, get the most optimal follow-up play. Okay, Llanowar Elves with a forest. So this could be Sultai again, could be mono green, could be Gruul. Do I need another land? Crackling Drake is always fine. Okay, so it's Tormenting Voice, Izzet Phoenix, draw 2. Not bad, not bad. So we got the card draw spells that we need. That is good. Alright, so our opponent is mana screwed? No. Alright, so it looks like we're up against Sultai once again. Alright, so we do need a land and fold by 1. That's actually, it's not a bad 2-turn move right there. It's gonna be a no on the blocks there. That's a bar. Crackling Drake here without protection, draw a card, potentially get blown out by a removal spell next turn. Could Lava Coil one of their threats, but I would rather save this for, I don't know, like a Wild Growth Walker or something that can get a little bigger. Could chart a course. I don't know, find some shocks maybe. But I think I'm just gonna Drake here, hope for the best. Where Drake lives next turn will be pretty good. Let's see, 5 mana. Okay. Okay. So we can get the Lava Coil. It's gonna be 4 power, but we can kill it before it gets too out of hand. Alright, so they have Memorial to Folly, which means they can get back whatever they kill except for whatever I Lava Coil. So let's get rid of Wild Growth Walker. Let us... So we can triple spell here, so we're gonna get our Phoenix back. So I think we want to... Shock. Get rid of the Brain Walker. I don't want to kill the Chupacabra right away because I don't want them to just get it back and then use it to kill our threat. And then I think we get a radical idea. Just get the Phoenix back no matter what, or we could chart a course, potentially get another Phoenix. I think at this point that's just kind of what we want to do. Keep the spells in our hand. Now, do I want a defensive Phoenix? Yes. 17. Next turn I can hit for not 17 unless I get some kind of buck wild, shock, op, all that kind of nonsense. Okay, so I can kill this for this. I'll trade with 1. See if I... Yep. Killing the Drake.
Let's tear this place apart. Draw and fire.
Okay, so let's radical idea. Let's chart a course. So I need the land in order to play a spell. I think Tormenting Voice here is the weakest. Oh baby, that's great. So I can kill Baby, which is awesome. And keep one back to the block.
Let's do this again.
This is game 1, so obviously they have main deck Cry of Carnarium. That's a brutal blowout, but I don't think that's going to happen. You can trade here, they can Memorial it or find it back, but that's fine. That's going to use up their whole turn's worth of mana. And it's just a Chupacabra, it does not exile. Alright. So we can Chupacabra again. Which is fine. Ooh, it is great. So we can Electromancer. Let's keep that so we can do this. Let us a shock and get our birdies back. Now, since they only have a Llanowar Elves, I'm going to get aggressive. So next turn we can Ral, start trying to get some card advantage. They can keep drawing lands, that's fine. They can pitch their Folly, get a Chupacabra back, or, I mean, it's kind of their only good find. Okay, so let's Ral.
What would you risk to beat me? Oh, come on.
Oh, great.
The weight is killing me.
So I'm going to keep those again, just in case we get any more jumpstart cards. At this point, I will... Okay, so they can kill a Phoenix or an Electric Mancer here, but I'm not too worried. Our Rel is going to live no matter what, unless I have a Vraska's Contempt. It's kind of face. And I think I just take this, and then if they blow us out, they blow us out. That's fine. Okay, so I'm taking a card draw.
Time to choose.
Oh wait, never mind. We just win. No main deck negates. Righteous. Alright, what did we do last game? I like Shivan over a shock. Although I can't go to the face, but I don't think that's going to come up as much. I like the negate protection. Another beacon bolts, maybe just one Rao. Let's go down. Trancing Melody. Radical Idea. Voice. See, I'm not sure if you want to get rid of your cantrips or not, especially the ones that can let you discard Phoenixes, but I feel like in this matchup, the cards I need are the cards I need. Hopefully LSV does a write-up on his tournament and I can find out for sure what I need. So this is an interesting keep. I can kill basically all of their early threats and then stick a decent-sized Crackling Drake. There's no combo Phoenix potential. Let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. Okay, Chart Course is a pretty good draw. Alright, we're gonna get out the battlefield. We need that sticking around. Alright. So I think we Electromancer. And then we wait, but we can shock this if we want to. If they play a second one, we might want to shock that one, just because it could become a 4-3, so... Our life total's high enough now that I'm not too worried about it. Chupacabra here could be pretty annoying. Duress, huh? I mean... Take my Charter Course, that'd be a bummer, but what are you gonna do? I like how they got the old school dress art from the Singleton event. I was not interested in the Gulta at all, so I did not struggle to get that, but I did make sure I got the dresses because I love that art. It's rad. Cast down, huh? Alright, so now let's... Alright, so let's make their cast down a little less good. So they could use it on our Electromancer, which would be smart, but then that keeps our Drake alive for a little longer. No blocks. I want them to use a removal spell. Not the removal spell I wanted them to use, and not on the card I wanted them to use. Alright, so let's Crackling Drake. We'll draw a card. It's gonna get cast down, but it is what it is. Our Electromancer has been living for quite a while, which is nice. Hopefully they don't have something else for the Electromancer. I would very much like a 1-mana discovery next turn. Okay. So yes. Some more lands let me cast more spells, but right now I just need threats. I'd love to put a Phoenix in there. Yes, I would. So let's use a Lava Coil. We have the instant speed shock. Did I do 3 spells? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's get 5. So Wild Growth Walker here would be pretty annoying. Any life gain, especially when we get them so low. because they're getting close to just a second Phoenix. Okay. Let's kill this. So again, it's debatable if I wanted to keep that shock out to go to the face potentially, but I think we're in an okay enough position now. Okay. So we have 2 spells that can kill the walker. Let's lock this, that way they can't find it back. We've got beacon bolts ready to go once and or twice next turn. Hopefully they don't go wild growth into Jade Light. That would be the most annoying of moves. Hydroid Graces. Okay. That's actually fine. Hello. Should just get spicy with it. Just to be sure we play no spells. Alright, so Izzet Phoenix still freaking good. So at the beginning of the season, people were pretty convinced that the Izzet Drakes list was the Izzet deck of choice. I also was playing a lot of that, and I found some success. Again, this isn't the type of deck that I'm the best at playing. As you can see, I'm probably making a ton of mistakes filming this video, but they're super fun. Just the ability to just kind of slowly over time build up like a 1 or 2 turn kill is always very fun. And just the insane nut draw potential of like turn 3 having multiple Phoenixes come back is just insane. So we played 3 Sultai decks, 2 mid-range, 1 kind of Muldrotha brew, who knows what. A pretty good record. I was told that this matchup was more of a coin toss, according to Luis's deck tech. But it's been pretty good for us so far. Once again. So, if we draw into a land in the next 2 turns, this is going to be a great hand. But if we don't... So our opponent mulligan, do we get greedy? Oh, do we get greedy? We shouldn't. Oh man, if we draw another land, this hand is insane. I mean, it's not insane, but it's good. I think we have to, just to... Fuck it. Screw it. What's happened? We have a winning record. Let's just get lucky. Oh yes. As they say in the movie Wall Street, greed is good. We still do not have any red sources of mana, which is fine, I guess. I mean, getting our Electromancer out early would be nice. Okay, so... Don't know this is...
comedy of errors.
Blue-white control or something else. So let's get rid of an island because we got the red sources, the sulfur falls, and let's kill Dodo. Because I think blue-white control is probably a fairly bad matchup for us just because they have access to settle the wreckage, seal away, just permanent answers to our threats, which kind of seems like what they're playing if they're running precognition. Or precognitive, pre-perception, blah, 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 whatever it is. Okay, 4 mana. Let's try to get our Electromancer out here. If this gets countered, that's not ideal, but it's fine. So then let's... Radical idea. And... opt. Let's get another land. Okay, we don't have the seal away. Or, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Ignore me. Wait a second. Wait a second here. That's a green card. Alright, so we're playing against some Bant something. Alright, are we looking at a Teferi here? No. Alright, let's go... Shock. And... I guess we can Phoenix out. If they want to settle the wreckage our 1 Phoenix, they're more than welcome. Okay, Rel is actually pretty good if we can stick it in this matchup. So now that I see they're playing Hydroid Crisis, I wonder if they're playing like a Bant Wilderness Reclamation deck or something like that. Let's get rid of the coil. Get rid of his voice. I'll just bash in. They got the settle, they got the settle. Okay, so they are mana screwed. That is very good for us. They're clearly paying some kind of Bant deck. Oh, let's see. They don't get a green source of mana. I feel like they probably must have just drawn one if they kept it on top. Alright. So they got your Wilderness Reclamation? No, okay. Thing for us to handle. Let's take the land, get that in the graveyard. So let's see. Nexus is always annoying. So they have Wilderness Reclamation. Their search hasn't flipped yet. Yep, this matchup is always so fun. So fun to play. So they got 9 mana. If they play a Wilderness Reclamation, they can make a crap ton. But they don't really have a... Okay, yep. That's fine.
Time to choose. Always so exciting.
Alright, so if they whiff, we win. Unfortunately, they have a flipped search. So if they get a wilderness reclamation, it's going to be hard for us. And that is for sure. So now we wait. I don't think there's much things better than a whiffed Nexus of Fate player. So this is a kind of easy sideboard. Anything that can keep them off their game plan. So all the counter spells. Niv Mizzet is very good because it keeps doing work even when it's gone. What is bad against them? Entrancing Melody is... I mean, I could steal their... Crassuses. Okay, Shock. I don't have a ton of stuff to hit. Lava Coil, they have the Crassuses, but I'd rather just try to keep them off their game plan. We still have a Beacon Bolts, so we should probably keep the Beacon Bolts at least. Ral's good, but he's a little slow in this matchup. Let's try this. It's going to be hard to stick a Niv Mizzet before they go off, but with our counter magic, we can keep them off their game plan. That's kind of how you win this matchup, is just you got to counter their important plays. Just let them growth spiral, let them do all that stuff. But if you can keep them from getting a Wilderness Reclamation or a Nexus of Fate off, that's a big game. It's a big game. Oh, this is an interesting hand. I think it's a keep, though. I mean, we got our big payoff. We can pitch the Arclight pretty early and draw some cards. I think this is a pretty easy keep. Hopefully we draw into some of our counter spells, and hopefully our opponent doesn't draw any green mana for 10 turns again. Alright, so Skinfin's tapped. It's tempting to play the Electromancer, but it's not going to do much for us right now, so let's just advance our board here. Next turn we can Electromancer and Chart a Course, pitching an Arclight Phoenix. So next turn, let's see. So I want some kind of counter spell, ideally. I guess, okay, at this point, if I draw a Spell Piercer or Negate, it's going to be the best possible draw. So I could run face first into a Settle the Wreckage here, but I should have run face first. Okay, so we have all the cards in the world now. So they can do exactly 7 now. So if they have a Nexus, they can do it, which would be very annoying.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Whew, okay. Scary, Lyra. Scary. So we're gonna beacon bolt her. Hopefully. Discovery. Let's just see what we're working with. We have a Niv Mizzet next turn. So hopefully they're not running Root Snare, which, since they're playing Bant and not Simic, I feel like that is kind of more the route they take. Ooh, Settle. Okay. Did run right into that. Negate. Well, what are you gonna do? So, if he doesn't go up next turn, at least I have a bunch of mana, and my Niv Mizzet can live longer and potentially go off. Not having a search for a Sconta has been working out pretty good for us, though. It's harder for them to search out this stuff. Oh, disgusting. Only 2 cards in hand, but they can crack a Memorial to Genius if they want to. And draw a billion cards. Alright, so this one's looking like it's probably going to be lost. Basically, if they get 1 to 2 more turns, they're going to ultimate to Fairy, and it's not going to be good for us. So much mana. So much mana. Yep. Alright. I'm gonna take a nap.
Keep up the pace. Whatever your facts, they're statistically likely to have my blood pumping.
Well, there is no sense in fighting through a Teferi emblem, so let's go through game 3. I wonder if this is a maximized velocity match. Let's get spicy. Definitely seems better than a shock. Alright, so we're on the play, so we need to be quick. It's kind of the only way we're going to win this match. Quick with some counterspell backup. Alright, we're definitely playing first. Okay. We're keeping this. Just having that one negate is going to be huge. So, we want to get our Drakes and our Phoenixes live as fast as possible. Yes. Okay, so negate number 1 is not going to do anything. Unless they don't have the Wilderness Reclamation, but of course they're going to. Of course. Okay, so here we're just going to Discovery. Pay 2 life for Blood Crypt and pass the turn. So we are going to negate basically just their Nexus of Fates. So I think we want to play this, draw card. That way, next turn we can at least get some damage in. So we got through one Nexus, but... Okay, so it looks like we're not going to Nexus. So let's think this through. Beacon Bolt will kill it. Let's get an Electromancer out there first. Okay, so we at least got one of their negates out, so hopefully they still don't have the Nexus or the Teferi, and next turn we can try to run back a Beacon Bolt, discard an Arclight Phoenix, and then we also have Shock and Lava Coil. I was taking 2, they have it. Of course they have it. Okay, maybe they don't. Or they forgot. Alright, this is getting interesting. We could get wrecked by Settle the Wreckage again. At least that time it did not hit any of our Phoenixes. And next turn we can probably triple spell. If they don't go off, that would be pretty good for us. Because we could hit for more than half their life total. So let's get to that. Actually gives us a target for this Lava Coil. Alright, so we're gonna have to pray for the whiff here. Doman is fine.
I look forward to seeing your mistakes. I don't enjoy seeing things suffer, but I'll make an exception.
Dovin's kind of a dick. Of course. So I think this is gonna be our first loss.
This tech gimmick is worth it.
I mean, the chances of them not being able to draw into their Nexus of Fate with all of this draw spell available. Okay, so they can't Nexus again. Oh my god, it's gonna take a goddamn miracle. That's a bummer.
A gap in my defenses. Even with my insight, I didn't foresee this.
Oh, they're still at 20 life, though. The chance of this happening is going to be... It's going to be very small. Come on, whiff. Whiff, 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 whiff. Okay. Bet they drew a Nexus of Fate. And that, my friends, is a GG. Well, we're still at 500 gold, so let's go, let's go. Do something quick. Give me like a mono white. Give me something aggro. No more of these grindy games. I want to be quick, be swift. I like playing fast and loose. Alright, maybe this week. Alright, I was going to say, this a Johnny player might be playing mono white, but now he's a Teferi player. So much for that. Alright, we got some removal. Wait, now is it Johnny again? What the fuck is going on here? Oh, Goblet Shrine. Alright, well, they're playing the Afterlife deck. We got some good news for them. Like a radio tower? They have radio towers in Ravnica. Bye-bye. This dude's just straight chilling. Just fuck you, fuck on. I wish you could mess with the leaves over here. That'd be nice. Okay, so we're playing against Orzhov Angels. Let us continue to kill the angels. Did that incorrectly. Sure, we'll keep that. So eventually they're going to run out of angels, and I'll eventually draw some kind of threat.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't say fake.
Kaya.
Funny.
So Kai actually, in this current meta, is a little better than I thought. It's pretty good against mono blue, mono red, some of the other stuff. Bummer. So they can exile that, gain some life.
I think you said your goodbyes already.
Alright, I was gonna say... Oh, this is a bummer. Can almost kill it. So I can bring Kai down to 1. Or I could... risk triple spelling. Let's get spicy with it. This is probably the incorrect play. So I chart a course, hopefully drawn to an untapped land that I can shock. Okay, well, now we're just going to continue to get wrecked by Kaya because they're going to exile my Arc-Light Phoenix. Should have just played it. But it was so tempting. If I drew that land, I could have shocked and played a Phoenix.
Honey, that's what I do.
I'm going to lose to a goddamn Kaya. Everybody's like, Kaya's so bad. Kaya's cool. Kaya's tight. Alright, so I may have punted this game. Alright, now that permanents have protection. One. A two. Three. Fly off the battlefields. So Kaya is straight brutal against Izzet Phoenix. Okay, so I have 8 cards in exile. Do 8 damage to me? That's pretty spicy. So they can gain a ton of life, but they're still not threatening lethal. And I have a lot of big boys coming down. So Seraph offers an interesting roadblock. It's going to take a lot longer for me to get through all my lethal damage, but still gotta do it.
Bags and hit the road.
Well, this is actually pretty cool. You get to see Kaya kind of in her element, proving that it is indeed a worthwhile card to have in a deck. Oh, this is... Alright, we're just gonna forget that game ever happened and start again. So... mostly creatures. Kaya's annoying. We want to keep Shockster so we can do some burn. Let's play Murmuring Mystic. That way we can at least get a bunch of go wide. Beacon Bolt for the Angels. Maybe a Disdainful Smoke. Not a negate. Don't want that. Well, seems like it's okay. It could kill some of the bigger angels later on. See the Beacon Bolt, Tormenting Voice, Disdainful Stroke, Charter Course. God, I'm so bad at sideboarding. feel like those do let the Phoenix draws go off a little faster, but they're also not necessarily the most powerful cards in the deck. These are like foil. Get some sweet foil basics. Turn 2 Electromancer is pretty good. Gives us a lot of action for next turn. So let's go Discovery Dispersal. We do want a land. Chart of course. We'll pitch this. So next turn, hopefully we can get a land going for either our Crackling Drake or a Murmuring Mystic. Keeping an island seemed like a good idea, or didn't seem super important, but you know, you never draw the lands when you need them. Okay, we let that happen. Not that there's anything we could do, but we let it happen. So, Discovery. So next turn, we can Crackling Drake or Murmuring Mystic. I think we want to get a Drake out. That way we can at least start applying some pressure. Basilica Bellhaunt, huh? Alright. We'll discard a shock. So next turn we can Murmuring Mystic and Lava Coil, so we can at least get a little birdie there. And they don't have any removal mana up, so we should be able to save for it at least. Don't want auto tapper doing something stupid. So, I doubt they're running Kaya's Wrath, considering they're such a creature-friendly deck, but you never know. I've seen crazier. We are going to want red mana, but let's just keep our hand full for now. Hopefully we can build up enough of a board presence that there's not much they can do to stop us. So I think I have Beacon Bolts. Yeah, I need everything. Settle the Wreckage would be brutal. but we're gonna get a lot of little birdies. Oh, hell yeah. All right, Murmuring Mystic, the draft all-star coming in clutch. All right. Let's run it back. So I think this is a keep. We got to turn to Electromancer into a bunch of spells and a Murmuring Mystic. So okay, so play this untapped just in case they play some kind of one drop I can shock to death. Okay, so pass. They're on the mono black plan, I guess. But we don't push us. He. Cast it. Called it. So let's discover dispersal. So we do want another land, so next turn we can Murmuring Mystic. Let's do this. So they play an Angel here. I will hold off on playing the Murmuring Mystic just so I can kill it. Yes. Wow, cool. I mean, let's chart a course too. Let's get rid of a shock. Beacon Bolts is pretty good. We're gonna want to do that a couple times. Lava Coil would be pretty good here. So I want to be able to Murmuring Mystic and play a spell or two. So maybe we want to Crackling Drake first, or no, let's Murmuring Mystic and opt. That way we have a blocker. Yes, any cheap spell at this point we want. So let's hope we don't walk into Vraska's Contempt or something like that. 3 mana floating still, so they could still Mortify. Play another Angel, perhaps. So yeah, we're just gonna block all day. No sense in taking damage when we're gonna keep making birds. Okay, that's far. Phoenix, huh? Well, let's play Drake. Draw a card. Lava Coil is very good. Let's see how long our Drake survives. So now we will take a hit from Seraph. Next turn we should be able to triple spell and pitch the Arclight and get it back and do a whole boatload of damage. Alright, so let's start by Lava Coiling the Seraph Scales. Let's... radical idea. Didn't draw land. And let's hold this up for later. Let's just bash in for 7. So next turn we can Electromancer, Radical Idea, pitch the Arclight shock and beacon bolt. So let's see. We potentially could be doing some lethal stuff here. So let's start. Let's see. 2, 4, 5. Okay, so we do this to their face. They go to 11. That's 9. I think that is... Cool. So we got there against Orzhov mid-range too. So far, so good. Can we do it? Let's do it. Last round. Here it is. Either we 5-1 it or we 4-2 it. Either way, we have a positive win rate for sure. We have doubled our gold investment, which, like I always say, as somebody who does this for free, is key. That's some pack that is one step closer to draft, which I love and is the fastest way to get your collection big. If you can chain a bunch of drafts together, not only do you get more boosters for prizes, but just the cards you open are key. So that's going to be a mulligan. That's going to be a mulligan. This is a keep. I love mulling to 5. It's going to be a hard bottom. So we're going to pay 2 pots. We're going to keep this on top. Because this is going to give us just more ways to draw and get the Phoenix out of here once we get our Electromancer online. Hopefully the card draws we can do here are going to make our mulligan less painful. Essence capture would be pretty rough right now. That would hurt a lot. But they won't benefit from the +1/+1 counter, so... If we're playing against mono blue. Okay. So, this is a decent matchup. They were on the play. They had... Alright, this is going to be a tough one. Mulling to 5, and they're essentially drawing an extra card or two each turn. So we're going to have to... Tormenting Voice. Not to mention any Spell Pierce or anything like that is just going to completely obliterate our chances of getting ahead on board. Yep. Shard Course. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god, the misclicks. Oh my god, the goddamn misclicks. Oh, that was such a clear beacon bolt. I could have triple spelled and played. Alright, well. This coffee drink I'm drinking is not helping because I just... That was a punt. Alright, so removal doesn't kill one of their cards, but kills one. Spell Pierce to fight their Spell Pierces. Is Marine Mystic good here? It can block forever, but I don't know. Voice, Rel is slow. Melody's actually good here. Let's try this. Oh my god, I can't believe I punted that. That was actually not a bad multi 5, especially with the situation we were in right there. God damn it. Alright, we are going first, and this time we are going to try and not punt and lose the game. Alright, and as I'm recording this, Autumn just won the Pro Tour with Mono Blue, so if they can do it, we can do it. And by we can do it, I mean we might lose. Well, our opponent's taking a nap apparently, so... Don't spell pierce me. Don't spell pierce me. Yes. So, this is pretty good. I would love to steal one of their creatures with a, whatever it is. Curious Obsession. Just the old 2-for-1. Overextend. They're thinking about it. Okay, so we're going to... I'm just going to try to shock it, get one of their dive downs or one of their spell pierces out of their hand. Clearly have it. So if they tapped out to play Tempest Gen here, that would be awesome. So let's have them sacrifice a Storm Tamer, or again, use up some of their removal. Cool. So this is kind of why this matchup is pretty good, because we can kind of overwhelm their protection spells, which is exactly what you want to do in a situation like this. Do we go for it? Let's get stupid with it. I'm tired. Who cares? Alright. Oh, sweet Jesus. I think we're going to lose this one. So we'll start by charting, of course. Discarding a Phoenix. A radical idea. Discarding an island. Sure, I'll shock your face. We're just gonna race. That's kind of all we can do right now. They're gonna beat us on the card advantage. So, Merfolk Tricksters and crap like that are gonna be annoying. Tempest Djinns. Okay, that Terra Mana can grow big. Just gonna do that now. I have no cards in hand, probably. Alright, I don't think we're going to get this one, unfortunately. That punt in game 1 is really going to come back to bite us in the butt. We're going to double block here, just because there's a chance that we can string together a bunch of spells. Gross. Alright, good games, opponent. Good games. Alright, so with the exception of that Game 1 punt where I completely ruined my chances of doing anything on a multi-5, I would say this deck definitely performed well. I'm no LSV, so he probably could have 5-0'd this no problem. But yeah, Izzet Phoenix is still a deck to be reckoned with, and I can highly recommend it to anybody who wants to build a deck in Arena. Let's see what we got. One rare. Rare that no one ever plays, and a bunch of crap. Alright, well, hey guys, thanks for watching. This was Rob with Multi5. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. And if you have any decks or anything you'd like us to play, give us an email at multi5@gmail.com. Thanks.